Massive Action Podcast. What's up, everybody on TikTok? We're also on YouTube. Go back to my Zoom here. We are live on Zoom. Big shout out to everybody on TikTok. Let me know if you can hear me. We're about to get started. So my name is Stan Medina. Welcome to the Massive Action Podcast. And pretty much we talk everything in regards to the auto body industry, opening a shop, growing a shop. Maybe you're first starting a shop. Maybe you're a technician. You're trying to transition to start a shop. These are some things that we go over. So we actually have a certified elite program where we mentor and coach technicians. We mentor and coach first-time shop owners, maybe someone that's in the business of starting up a business. Like, we help them navigate through that whole process. A little bit about myself before we get started is I started off in the body shop industry when I was 16 years old. It was I started in the service department and I was about to get fired. And I asked to get a transfer to the body shop, and Ivan, his name's Ivan Winningham, allowed me to get a transfer. And he said, you gotta know how to buff. You gotta know how to prep. And I said, I know how to do all that stuff, which I didn't know anything, but I had to learn fast. So it was like on the job, what is it called? Crash course of paint and body, right? So anyway, I stuck with that. Learned how to do body work. I learned how to do the paint work. Pretty soon I started doing side jobs. Pretty soon I just kind of got known for doing side jobs and I was making money. So I was like, man, I'm gonna open a shop. Several years, maybe like about 8 years later, opened a shop, was doing side jobs, working at the dealership. I kind of was doing that whole bid where, you work all day and then you work all night. You think you're the man, right? Because you got all this work. And then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it full time. I'm gonna open my shop. I'm gonna go all in, and I did it. And it was an eye-opening experience. It wasn't eye-opening until I started to really. It wasn't eye-opening until I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, to where he kind of broke down the difference between an asset and a liability. And when I understood that concept and I understood the difference between an asset and a liability, I saw everything I was doing in a whole different perspective. Everything that I was doing, I was purchasing liabilities. I was purchasing cars. I was purchasing, clothes and spending money on stuff that was a liability. So I decided to do a 360 on my business. We were doing a lot of custom work. We shut that down. We went to start doing full insurance claims. Now we've been in business for several years now. We have a brand, we have a team, we have some investments. Like we took control over our business, and we built some pretty good assets, right? And so the purpose of the podcast and the reason why I'm here is to kind of share some of these tips and some of these things that we struggled through and some of the things that we had to overcome to grow the business, right? And as I talk to more and more technicians, their goal is to open a shop one day, be a shop owner. I want to be a shop owner. I want to open my own shop. And it always comes back to this. Why do you want to open a shop for? Like, tell me exactly why you want to open the shop. Well, I want to have more time. I want to be my own boss. All these things, right? But I'm asking them, okay, well, if you open your own shop, you're actually going to have to work more because now you're going to have to grow that business. So maybe right now you're working, 40, 50 hours. You might have to work 80 hours. Are you okay with that? Yes, I'm okay with that. Are you open are you open minded? Are you open to feedback? Are you open for coaching? Because look, as a technician, you know how to fix the cars. Like you're good. You're probably one of the best in your town, right? But when it comes to running a business, it's a whole different set of skills. And so that's where you know, certified elite comes in, because we're like, okay, look, guys, like this is where you're at, and this is kind of what the skills you need. And a lot of times, they're not aware of the skills that they need until they meet someone looking from the outside in and says, hey, look, this is where you're at, this is the skills you need, and let me help you get to that bigger place that you're trying to get, right? And so we have actually a booklet coming out. It's called the Ultimate Startup Body Shop Survival Guide. So this is actually the index of the book. But if you're interested in learning more about it, send me a message on Instagram, or just follow the channel, man. If you find some value in what we're doing, take some time and like and subscribe our YouTube, and help us support that and help us grow that, because we will be launching our books and our other tools on that. So like uh we will be launching stuff off of that. So make sure you're subscribed and make sure you're following what we got going on. But first of all, is it's the foundation of a successful body shop, right? So the overview of the repair industry. So we have to decide, okay, what are the challenges and what are the rewards of running a body shop, right? What are the challenges and what are some of the things that we can benefit from that? Okay, so there's a couple of things, right? So some of the challenges are going to be, you're going to have to start developing new skills in business. And what I mean by that is you're going to have to start to understand leadership skills. You're going to have to start to understand marketing skills, right? Skills, team building, communication, all these skills. You're going to have some knowledge of how to do these. Okay, and the reason being is because if you expect to grow a team, if you expect to build banking relationships, you got to have some knowledge with these skills. So those are going to be some of the challenges. Like, okay, am I willing to put in the work to understand, you know, how, to communicate with people? Am I willing to put in the work to understand how to read a P&L sheet? Am I willing to put in the work to build a brand, to be consistent with it? Am I really willing to put in the work to go build those relationships, those business relationships, right? So these are some of the challenges that come with opening any business, right? But then what are some of the rewards? Some of the rewards are that you now have control over your income. So you have control over your income. So now you can decide, okay, I want to ramp this thing up. I want to really make this thing a cash machine. Okay. Now you can say, okay, I'm making this thing a cash machine. What options do I have, or what can I invest in with the cash that I'm making? So basically what the business does for you is it helps you reach your goals a lot faster. So it's going to help you reach your goals a lot faster versus exchanging, time for money, right? But those are some of the rewards. Okay. Uh, some of the other rewards is like, you get to build a team. You get to build a team, and I would say, some people would say, well, being your own boss is a reward. Yeah, you know what? Like being your own boss is cool, but you also have to hold yourself accountable. You also got to show your you also got to also got to show up. So just like if you were to work with someone, you still got to show up on time. You still got to be there. You still got to put in the work. You still got to be disciplined. So it's not all freedom, you know, but you're more in control of your future. Okay, you're more in control of the goals that you want to set. You know what I'm saying? There's a saying that goes like, if you're not working on your goals, you're probably working on someone else's goals. So if you're not working towards your goals, every day, then more than likely you're working towards someone else's goals. So keep that in mind, okay? The next thing we're gonna talk about here is we can go into location or we can go into niche. And so finding the niche in your industry. So it's either gonna be, high end insurance work, custom work, restoration. What's gonna be your niche? What's gonna be your niche to where like they say, okay, this is the guy. This is the guy that will take care of that. You know what I'm saying? So identifying your niche is gonna be very important because you don't want to be all over the place as far as like we do everything. We do everything like whatever they throw at you, you're gonna do it. Like you don't want to be that guy. And a lot of shops fall into the trap of wanting to be that guy, wanting to be that shop that's like, one stop shop. We'll do 18 wheelers, we'll do motorcycles, we'll do boats, we'll do trailers, we'll do barbecue pits, we'll do whatever, like whatever. We don't care. You know, what's gonna happen is you're gonna have so many different projects going on. It's gonna be a headache. Like keep it simple and and stick to a niche. So when someone's looking you up, you're the guy that handles that, right? So find your niche, right? We talked about last time, like lease versus buying. Okay, lease versus buying, right? So what is the most people I would always suggest like seeing if you can buy something, okay? Because because for one, you're gonna own it, right? But then comes the question like, you know, how am I gonna buy it when I'm just starting off? Okay. Well, there's other options to buy a property. Like for example, if you find a building and you like it and you're in contact with the owner of it, you can see if they're willing to work a seller finance agreement. And so what a seller finance agreement is that the owner of the property is actually going to be the bank, and they're going to let you pay them in payments for the building. Okay. So there are a couple of things that you might want to do prior to just jumping right into it. You might want to get it appraised, you might want to get it inspected, and you might want to try to negotiate the price down so that you're getting a good deal. You know, that's one way to get into get into a building. You can also lease, right? And what I always suggest with leasing is like make sure that the lease is make sure the lease is negotiable, right? For example, you want to be transparent, up front and say, hey, you know what, like, I'm gonna open my first shop, and this is the first time doing it. I want to see if you can work with me on the lease, right? Okay, what kind of help do you need? Well, I'm here for a year, or what if I'm here for a year and a half and it doesn't work out? You know, what are the terms if I terminate the lease? Will I be held responsible for that, or is there a way that if it doesn't work out, I can terminate the lease? And so a lot of people are scared to sign leases, but if you're upfront and says, hey, you know what? Let's just say it doesn't work out. If I leave the property in clean condition and you're able to show it before I move out, will it be okay to terminate the lease? And make that agreement up front. Don't try to like be sneaky about it and move out in the middle of the night, like because they'll just kind of they'll hold you responsible and they'll hold you you'll be liable for that lease. And so basically what a lease agreement is like you're agreeing to pay rent for 1 year, 2 years, or whatever the agreement is. You're agreeing to pay that amount. So let's just say, for example, if it's it's $1,000 a month, right? So basically what you're doing is you're signing an agreement saying that you're going to pay a total of $12,000 for the year to rent that property, right? And let's just say you move out in 6 months. Well, you're still obligated to pay the 6,000 if you don't have some kind of termination agreement. And basically, the termination agreement is basically just you and the landlord agreeing, hey, if I need to terminate this lease, there's an option to do that without penalties, without being charged that extra 6 grand. Because what they'll do is they'll take you to court and they'll put a lien on you for that 6 grand. They'll actually sue you for the 6 grand. So you kind of want to be careful with that. Okay. Let's talk about let's talk about different financing options, different financing options to get your body shop started, right? So one thing that you can do is you can save up some money, and you can start to buy the equipment yourself, right? The other option you have is you can build some banking relationships, and the banking relationships will help you. Well, they'll loan you money, right? But but the thing with the body shop industry is, like, if you're a technician and you're wanting to open the business for yourself, banks are going to be very cautious about giving you money because it's a high risk. Like, okay, for example, like, let's just say that you want to go to the bank and you want to borrow, $150,000, right? Okay. And you're a technician and it's going to be your first business. Okay. And with that money, you're going to buy some equipment. You're going to buy a sign. You're going to pay for office manager, right? Okay. So let's just say if you default on the 150K, right? How is the bank going to get their money? What what assets do you have that the bank can say, hey, you know what? Because you're not going to pay us the 150K, we're going to take this because we need our money back. There's not going to be anything for them to take. So it's a high risk for them. So the chances of them doing the deal are going to be very slim, right? A lot of times they'll say, you know what, we'll give you the loan, but we're it's to start the business and to buy the building. So basically, the building is the asset. So if you don't pay, they'll take the building back, right? Because remember, the banks are not in the business of taking stuff back and taking it to auction and like foreclosure and all that stuff. They're not in that. That's not their business. Their business is to lend you money and you to pay them back with interest. And then they make money because you're paying them interest. That's how they make their money. They don't want to repo, and they don't want to try to sell frame machines and paint booths and mixing systems, and they're not trying to do all that. Okay, so a couple of ways that you can you know get the banks to kind of pay attention to you is to learn some business skills. Learn some business skills, so whenever you do talk to them, they know that you're business savvy. Like, they know that you know something about business versus you just knowing how to fix cars. Because just because you know how to fix cars, that's a lot different than running a business. So you want to make sure that you can communicate to them, hey, I also have some business skills. I took some online business classes. I took some business management classes. I took some time management classes. I took some accounting classes. I took some leadership classes, or whatever you can take. And that's going to also give you some kind of credibility, and it's going to make you look good whenever you're trying to get some money. Okay. Let's talk about marketing and branding. Okay. Uh, Marketing and branding here. Let me see. Marketing and branding. So how are you going to market and brand your business? Okay. So most shop owners that I get in contact with, they don't have the proper branding. And so because they don't have the proper branding, it's hard for them to get attention. So, for example, like, let's just say if uh let's just say John's Paint and Body, right? So John's Paint and Body, because John's name is on the building, people are gonna want to speak to John. Okay. So what that does is it ties John to the building, to the business. Okay. So John is probably gonna be one of the technicians, or he's gonna be the painter, or he's gonna be something, right? So now when customers go, they're like, hey, is John here? Is John? So they're always gonna want to talk to John. Okay. The thing with that is, like, let's just say if you want to sell your business down the road, it's going to be hard to sell your business that's named John's Paint and Body to to Tony, right? Because that's not his name. So whenever you're coming up with a business, you want to make it like a brand that's not your name. And the reason why is because once you can build that brand, now you build up the value of the brand. So the business by itself, because of the brand, becomes more valuable. You understand? For example, like let's just say like Dell computers, right? Or Apple, right? Or what about like McDonald's, right? Or what about uh just think of something like Pet Boys, right? Pet Boys is a brand. It's not a last name automotive, right? It's not like Sanchez Automotive. It's Pet Boys, right? Because it's a brand. Now you have now you create a logo, and now you can market with the logo, so people recognize the logo. So what you're doing is you're building value with the company, and that's just one way to market. So a lot of shops don't even have a logo. So maybe if you're a shop and you don't have a logo, why don't you go to Fiverr? It's Fivver, I think it is, and it's freelance. There's freelance people that freelance graphic artists, freelance website developers. Like these are all freelance people, right? And so basically you go in there and you say, hey, design me a flyer or logo, right? Logo designs. And it's gonna pop up several people that will design you a logo. And let's just say you pay $30 for three different designs. Now you have something to pick from. If you don't like those, see if they can make some more. But the purpose of the logo is so that you can make stickers. Now you can put it on a shirt. Uh, you can make hats for it, like whatever the thing. So now you're really branding branding your business. Someone said Canva for logos. So you can use Canva for logos, but those are just templates. So if you go to Fiverr, you can actually customize it for whatever you want it to look like. So you just tell them, hey, I want to say, Rivera, uh, whatever, or you know what I mean, however you want to word it, and you can have them make you a logo for it, and it's gonna be a one-off logo, so no one's gonna have that logo. You see, so I know on Canva you can do certain things. You put in the font and it'll kind of generate something. Fiverr is gonna have more graphic design, and there's a little bit more stuff you can do with that. So also, once you get a graphic designer working for you, he can design other things for you. So that's not just going to be the one thing that they make. They can make different designs and different things for you if they need to. So utilize that resource. So, you know, another thing when shops are starting off, they don't have the resources to pay these expensive people. They don't have the resources to pay a graphic designer to work full time. They don't have the resources to hire a content creator. They don't have the resources to hire to set up QuickBooks, right? Someone to help them set up QuickBooks. Uh, they don't have all this stuff, but if you can hire a VA, a virtual assistant, to help you do some of that stuff. Okay, so that's one thing you can actually implement if you really wanted to. Okay. Another thing we can talk about is like I said, mindset and leadership. You know what I mean? Like we talk about that in the book. Uh, it's developing a growth mindset. Why mindset matters in a business success. The reason why mindset matters, in a business success is because you always got to be growing. You always got to be educating yourself, and you always got to be, you know, figuring out, okay, how can I grow the business? What's the next level? Because it's all about levels, because the 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 amount of income that you're earning right now is based off the skill level you have. So if you want to increase your income, you got to increase your skill level. That's just basically what it is. Like, so the more skills you can acquire, the bigger problems you can solve, or the more things you can handle, and the more things you can figure out because you have the skills to do that. Okay. So mindset's going to be very important. Uh, okay. It says how to stay focused and motivated during difficult times. So how are you going to stay motivated, and how are you going to stay focused during difficult times? And so, one of the ways you can do that is really concentrate on having clear. Maybe your goals are not 100% crystal clear, but at least having some direction. So it's going to be more about, okay, let me plan my week out, and let me make sure that I hit some of these targets. And even if you're having a bad week, if you hit a couple of your targets and you get a couple of wins, it's going to make you feel good. You understand? It's going to make you feel like you're making some momentum because, growing a business, it's going to have some ups and downs. And you have to remember, you know what, part of this struggle, I'm going to grow through this. And a lot of times, you deal with obstacles and you deal with the challenges because you're not skilled up to figure them out yet. You know what I'm saying? But what's happening is you're being presented with a new problem. So it's giving you an opportunity to say, hey, you know what? Like, you need to develop this new skill to solve this problem. Okay. That goes back to, developing a growth mindset, and then let's talk about leadership in the body shop. So becoming a leader, your team respects and follows, right? So a lot of uh, shop owners that I talk to, it's hard for them to find like guys that show up and want to work, right? They say, "Oh, no one wants to work. No one wants to work," right? Well, it's not really that they don't want to work. It's just that you're not an inspiring leader. Like you're not an inspiring leader. Like you're not leading correctly. A lot of times if you're leading like trying to be the cool leader, if you're leading like trying to be friends with everybody and like, let's go drinking, let's go, like you're not you gotta separate yourself from that. And what I mean by that is like if you're gonna lead, like you gotta be a leader. And leading it is not being nice. You can't be nice all the time. I mean, even though you want to be nice, but sometimes you have to tell people, hey, like, you've been late 2 times, that's unacceptable. The next time I'm going to write you up. And then after that, we have to let you go. Oh, dude, I thought we were boys. No, like, I'm sorry. Like, we're not boys. This is business. So you have to kind of, you got to understand, like, if you're going to be in a leadership position, you got to be a leader and you got to show up and you got to do what you're going to like, say what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? Because they're watching you. Your team is watching to see what you're going to do. You understand? They see how you're going to, react to difficult moments. They see how you overcome challenges. They see if there's opportunity for them to grow there. They see if there's stability there. Like they're looking at all these things to determine, okay, do I really want to follow this guy? And also you got to share with them where we're going. You know what I mean? Share the vision with them. Because if you're not sharing the vision, they might think that we're not going anywhere, and so they might not be interested in staying on board. They might not be interested in going on the journey with you. To accomplish these bigger things. Um, let's talk about let's see. Financial management is going to be one that's going to be very important. Daily, weekly, and monthly financial tasks. So this is going to be pretty, especially if you're going to be hiring some help. Like you want to make sure that you're keeping an eye on the money, right? And whether it's you're flagging people, you're paying them salary, you're paying them hourly, you want to make sure that you're giving them the proper task, and you want to make sure that they're doing what needs to be done. And just keeping track of your money, because managing cash flow and reducing unnecessary expenses, taxes and accounting systems every shop owner needs. So you're going to need like the QuickBooks. I would always suggest QuickBooks. I mean, because you got to have some record of what's being spent and what's being earned. And you got to have a report doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the dashboard of the business. So the financial reports are going to be the dashboard of the business. So if you don't know, what the dashboard is reading, you don't know what's going on with the business. So you want to kind of keep your eyes on those numbers and say, okay, you know what, we're doing this. Or if you need to increase business, how are you going to increase business? So that's going to be very important. Uh, building a referral network and building a referral network. So how are you going to build your network? So building the network means like, okay, let's go out and let's connect with the community. Let's go out and let them know who we are, what we do. Okay. That way you're embedded in the community and they know this is the service that you offer, right? So, you're gonna have to spend some time and develop some key relationships within your community. It doesn't matter what business you're in, you always got to build some relationships. So that's going to be very important, to build those relationships within your community. So, like I said, guys, like if anybody's interested in, or they're looking to start up their shop, or they have I talk with a lot of people on Instagram. Maybe they took over a shop. They're trying to figure out, okay, how do I start to market? How do I get insurance claims? How do I hire someone to help me out? How do I do my books? What do you suggest? How do I do estimates? Right? Connect with us. Connect with us on the certified elite. And what we do is like we'll do one-on-one calls and we'll figure out, okay, what are you struggling with? Like, what areas are you struggling with? And we'll tackle those areas. Like we'll say, okay, you want to start doing insurance work, okay? Okay, this is what you need to do. Boom, boom, boom. We'll give you the steps to go attract those kind of jobs, right? And if you're saying, hey man, I did this and that, but I'm still not really getting the feedback that I would like. Okay, well, let's try this. Boom, boom, boom. And so, but what it does, like, it keeps you accountable, because what I found that most technicians that transition to being an owner, they don't have no one keeping them accountable. So if there's no one keeping you accountable, what happens is you fall back to what you're comfortable doing. And that's just like working in the shop and not promoting, not going out and getting new business, not getting involved with the community, because it's uncomfortable. And one thing with that is, like, you're not going to see an instant return. Like, you're not going to see, like, oh man, he went out this day to meet some agents, man, his shop's going to be busy tomorrow. No, it's not like that. You have to nurture these relationships. And that's the thing where, having someone keeping you accountable is going to be very important, and so most people, it's funny because when I first got introduced to like coaching, or like someone holding me accountable, it kind of, I didn't really understand it at first, because like I was like why do I need coaching? Why do I need, someone to hold me accountable? Why do I need someone to give me a strategy? I'll just figure it out myself, right? But the thing is, like, whenever you're in business for yourself, like, you don't have to answer to anybody. So you don't have to do the hard stuff. You understand? Like, you like, if something's hard, you're like, I'll do it later. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if I said, hey, uh, one way to grow your business is to make, 15 calls a day to new and maybe existing customers to see how they're doing, just connect with them, and you're like, yeah, that sounds cool. Maybe I'll do it. I don't know. I don't feel like it. I'm not a good caller. I'm not a good caller, right? So you don't do it. But if someone's holding you accountable, they're gonna say, hey man, like, make those 15 calls, at least do 15 calls this week, and then we'll connect next week and let me know how it goes. You almost feel pressure to do it, but it's a good pressure. It's a growth pressure. It's like you hiring a personal trainer, right? Or someone going to the gym with you. He's like, hey man, I'll see you tomorrow at 7:45. I'll see you tomorrow in the morning at 7. So you're gonna have to be there, because you're paying him to train you, right? So it's the same thing, man. Certified Elite is one of the fastest growing uh, coaching companies, like for technicians and first time shop owners, because not only do we give you the tools and the resources to grow your business, but we also give you some like sick like investment strategies, some credit building strategies, some stuff that like will blow your mind away, that we also implement. Not like other coaching companies where they kind of give you the general basics of this. We come from like uh a family of hustlers, so we're not like hustling people, but we're hustling trying to figure out how to do things better, right? So we're hustling for knowledge, we're hustling for information, like we're hustling to get to the next level. How do we get to the next level, right? And the way you get to the next level is you have to get into bigger rooms. and you have to be skilled up to get in those bigger rooms. And we're willing to pay. I'm willing to pay the price to get into those bigger rooms to elevate more people up, right? So once again, guys, thanks for tuning into Certified Elite, the Massive Action Podcast. And like I said, you can reach out to me on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. You can go to stanmedina.com to sign up for our free weekly webinar where you can join in. If you have questions, I will answer your questions on the spot. And if you need some, like, if you want to go deeper, it's like, hey man, like I really want to get on a call with you because I'm really kind of going through some things in with the company. When can we connect? We'll arrange that and we'll get you on the right track. And then, like I said, we have if anybody's interested, like this is something that we have. It's called the Ultimate Startup Bodyshop Survival Guide, and this thing is like an exclusive 17 chapter like survival guide. Really, these are the notes from that. These are the notes from that from the book, and we can connect, and I can maybe those are for some of our students, but we also have these books as well. The Millionaire Mindset. If you're interested in one of the books, these are $49, and it does have some like page full of like nuggets in there. This is like gold nuggets. This is like mindset on steroids. So if you want a millionaire mindset, this is the blueprint for that, on steroids. Like, and not only that, but like it has a bunch of like sick tools in there, tools where you can find out some cool stuff about yourself. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Till next week. Hey, make sure y'all subscribe. Please give us a subscribe and leave some comments, man. Let me know what you thought of the podcast. Let me know if I can help with any questions. Leave them in the comments, and we will